We should be live. It should be live now. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without Drew. Oh, yeah. What was that commercial? Real men of genius. Yeah. Oops. I forgot to transition us. We did go live. That's probably better. You can actually see us now.
There you go.
That we were live. There was no signal on the Elgato. Welcome back.
We got there.
To the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnny. To my left is Chris. To my bottom is Nick. And we'll get right into it with our intro. Alrighty. Like I said, we're back. Thank you so much for joining us again for another week of football and fantasy football. Tragedy has struck. Mike Evans, live update, ruled out for the rest of the evening with a hamstring injury. Chris Godwin continues his tear, further bolstering Nick's claim to not drop him at this time.
Hopefully disregarded Johnny's trade away candidate.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much put a big stinky poo-poo on that one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to adjust my camera real quick. Don't freak out. I'm moving a little bit. Yeah, apparently he had a hamstring injury. Not apparently. He had an injury designation. He was a man, went in there, got a touchdown, said I'm out. But we'll get
100th touchdown.
Yeah. I think he actually kept this one. He usually gives them away, I think, but
he heaves him about 40 rows into the bleachers.
Thanks for joining us. We might have some new viewers tonight, you know. Who knows?
Hopefully.
I've got it this time.
If you have any questions, put them in the chat.
Yeah, I've got it this time. Chat's up. Chris, I've remembered that we're not going straight into injuries, that the injuries are tied to matchups. So I'm not going to hand it off to Chris. We're going straight into matchups this week.
That's right.
Thursday night. Wait, first, we have an update in the standings. And let me tell you, folks, I had a rough week. Nick did the tallying this week. So, Nick, I'll let you inform the folks on the new standings here.
So, coming in at last, 24-16.
You didn't have to say it like that.
Dead last is Johnny. And then a two-way tie. The slight edge goes to me because I'm handsomer. 27-13, me and Chris.
Okay, and obviously...
Dude, I went on a tear this week, by the way.
Chris was...
At one point, me and Nick were talking about it. I was like 9 for 9 on the first.
He was perfect Thursday night, Sunday morning, all the way through Sunday at 1, and then at Sunday at 4 he started to.
Even my 405, I think games are fine. It was the 425 with the Chiefs one that got me, and that was because I can't root for Mahomes.
Absolutely not. You know, and obviously, both the Monday night games, they're playing right now, so we don't know. We'll let you know next week. We're always a little bit behind on that one. But, yeah, I struggled in the standings this week. I don't know what happened. Houston choked, you know. Joe Mixon playing the best football of his life.
He is balling now.
They just couldn't pull out a win against Jordan Love and the Packers. But it's okay. It's all right. I got plenty of time to make it up. It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, Thursday, our first matchup of the week, we have Vikings at the Rams. Now, they've been telling us for weeks now that Cooper Kupp is going to play. I had him in my lineup this week, all the way up until game day. And then they said, no, he's not going to play. But this week, today, actually, he was a full participant, I think.
Yeah, this is basically last week, basically a game time decision, and obviously didn't go. So pretty much a lock that he's in.
He's got to play this week. Rejoice. Still I'm taking the Vikings. I don't think that the Rams can do it. So
Dude,
Vikings
the
all
Vikings,
the way.
yeah, the Vikings
Yep.
almost beat the Lions. They look incredible right now.
I'm taking
Uh,
the Vikings.
Yepers.
Christopher, what's the injury front? Any updates there?
So you mentioned Cooper Kupp. Obviously, he's back. You have
I'm so
Aaron
thirsty.
Jones, who was game time decision. He ended up playing, and then immediately after the game was questionable like for the next week. So I'm assuming that's just one of those like classic. He's a veteran. You're probably going to give him the week to recuperate and heal, but I would assume next week he'll play.
I was gonna say Brian Robinson Jr. every week he's on the injury report, questionable, and it's because they're giving him load management.
Yeah. Here's what I will say: if your league mates are dumb enough or aren't paying attention, T.J. Hawkinson is able to come back at any point. Literally, you want to know the quote that is who's the Vikings coach? O'Connell.
Yes,
So the quote he said was that he is 100% ready to go. He's passed every test. He's ready to go, except he just basically isn't in like football shape. Like
that
the
makes sense.
it's like when guys skip the training camp, they're ready to go, but like they're
It's
not all the way back.
basically Travis Kelsey for the last 6 weeks.
So to that point, Hawkinson is basically on the precipice of coming back at any moment. It's just a matter of how quickly he can get into shape and how much they need him. They're 5-1 now, so as far as record goes, you're probably not panicking just yet. But Rams aren't really a team that they're one of those sneaky teams that could win at any week potentially. So go get him on the waiver if he's not there. If somebody has him on their IR spot still, now's your chance to trade for him.
He could
'cause you got a
immediately,
week 2 max.
yeah, he could immediately insert himself into the tight end conversation. Just because they're playing right now, Mark Andrews with another touchdown this week. Who knows? He could be making his resurgence. He just broke the Ravens franchise record for most touchdowns by a player, I think. Like 43 or something. So,
Something like that, yeah.
so keep an eye out. We're moving on. Chris, did you take Vikings?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're on to the 1 p.m. slot. Thank the Lord, He has heard my prayers. No stupid,
Europe.
no London game this week. Nobody cares about that. Packers at Jags.
This
Packers.
is easy.
We're all taking the Packers here.
Packers are slamming.
They're just Jordan Love is just slinging that thing. I mean, every
Yeah.
quarterback that's coming into Green Bay is just heaving that ball. They don't care
Just
if they
letting it
throw a
fly.
touchdown. They don't care if they throw an interception. They're just throwing it as far as they can.
They need Jameis Winston out there.
He would throw.
He would fit perfectly.
Game.
Uh,
We'll get to
they
that.
the Browns may trade him, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Why was he not the second quarterback ready to go? I mean, I have a lot of questions.
Like I said, I think that their hope is that they can trade him. I think obviously you're not planning for an injury, but I'm assuming that the Browns went into the game thinking Deshaun's the guy. If something happens or we decide to pivot, we'll just play Dorian Thompson, whatever his name is, or whatever, DTR.
Yeah.
And he came out and looked like buns, minus like the ability to run.
Do we have any injuries at this game right now?
Not really. I
Nothing.
mean-
ETN.
Other than ETN.
Oh, that's true. ETN, yeah, he does have the shoulder. I did write that one down.
I mean, who
so he was a
cares at
game time
this point? He's a bum.
He was a game time decision this week. Listen, Doug Peterson is adamant that this is not going to be the Tank Bigsby show when ETN comes back.
He had 2
People keep asking
touchdowns.
about- yeah, to that point, the Patriots, as far as the team defense goes, but they've done this before, where ETN and Tank have split. Now, granted, in years past, it's been ETN and then like sprinkling of Tank Bigsby. I do think that there's probably a good chance it's more 50-50 at this point. But like I said, Doug Peterson is adamant that it is not just going to be the Tank Bigsby show.
I don't think Doug Peterson survives the season, so
Well, that may be fair.
Well, that's an easy one. Keep playing Evan Ingram confidently.
Play Evan
He's getting
Ingram,
a lot of
play Brian
targets.
Robinson. Yeah, I
Yeah.
said not Brian Robinson. Brian Thomas. That dude's incredible. And then on the flip side, if I think you play ETN if he's available. I think you play Tank Bigsby either way at this point.
So
And then
Etienne's he's got to be in like the Ramondre camp right now, right? He's in that
yeah,
level. Like
yeah.
I'm confidently, especially after this week, I'm rolling out Javonte Williams over both of those guys right now.
It was only 1 week for Javonte.
Uh,
He's
uh,
looked okay, but he
he's
just
had
hasn't
2 weeks
translated.
now. 2
Yeah.
weeks.
But one of those was the Panthers.
I'll
If
take
I'm
it.
not mistaken. Yeah, obviously stats are stats. You're not going to discredit that, but yeah, I agree. He's in that lower tier. On the flip side, obviously, you're going to play everybody. Basically, you're going to play Jaden Reed. You're going to keep playing Tyler Kraft. Play Josh Jacobs. Play Jordan Love.
Tight end epidemic is out of control. It's such a flip of a coin whether or not you're gonna.
Are we back in on Dontavian Wicks after 1 week in?
No.
Yeah, neither. I just didn't. That's one of those guys that if your team is in dire need of somebody who can put up like 30 points in a week, then play him. But there's a high chance you're going to get two as well.
Yep.
So
Moving right along, we got Cardinals at the Dolphins. Update on Tua today. He said he is going to play, and he is not going to use a Guardian cap. They asked him directly about it, and he said no. And then they asked him if he's going to change his style of play, and he said no. And they said why, and he said personal preference. I personally think he already has CTE. I think the league should probably step in and do something about this, but they won't. I don't see how you can roll him out there and not make him wear a Guardian cap at the very least, but it's
the hard part about it is that like I just don't know how you enforce it. Like it's the same thing. This is a weird example, but like when people get a little bit older and they have to like go to assisted living homes, like if they're in a capacity where they can still think for themselves, they still get to make the decision. And so it's like I get for this well-being of Tua, you are right. They should enforce it. They should make him wear some red non-contact jersey and he just has to slide or something. Like I don't know.
I was just saying I don't think the league can actually do anything, but I think they just need to come to agreement. I think the teams need to come to agreement that we're not going to hire this guy. And they may get a lawsuit out of it, but like it's like, okay, like what are you really doing for him here? Like are you really going to run this guy out there and let him keep getting drilled like this? And even still, like, is he your best option? Like
the problem is if you compare this to like the Colin Kaepernick situation, like you get blackballed out of the NFL and then basically the 49ers just pick up right where they left off. It didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Tua goes out and that offense looks like a fourth grade recess
Horrible.
offense.
Tyreek is unplayable right now, which is
everybody is.
I know.
I mean Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, like any piece on that offense is just you could drop them. I mean, obviously don't do that, but
you
like
could.
That's how bad they are.
I've never seen anything like it. And
either Tua is
not that
maybe
good.
the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football, and I'm just significantly misinterpreting what he does on the field. But I don't get it.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Tua's back. I think I take the Dolphins.
Oh, Chris is glazing me. Here we go.
No, I think you're just right. I agree with you.
It's not a chance. He gets hit one time, he's dead.
I do wonder how much longer this will go on at this point. If it, like theoretically, if it's to happen again, like what?
I mean, we're talking about
does
number
the NFL,
4.
That's what I'm saying. And to that point, like it's posturing. It's like the tensing of the body. At some point, a team's got to step in. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that after all of this, should something happen again, even if he was to get, let's say he steps on the field and he just has like the concussion symptoms where like no posturing, he doesn't get knocked out or anything like that. It's just one of those scenarios where maybe he gets tackled, kind of hits his head, and then they just like are forced to just like make sure he's okay. And it's one of the mild ones. Marvin Harrison, for instance, this week is playing 1 week after a concussion. Let's say it's like that. Even that might be too much on his body at this point.
Yeah. It's just it. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. We're moving on to Jets at Patriots. The Jets picked up Devontae Adams. He drops his first pass from Aaron Rodgers. But I am going to take.
It was a little wide.
Yeah, I am going to take the Jets still.
Me too.
Yep.
I think this actually increases Garrett Wilson's fantasy value because Devontae Adams is going to clear out some defenders for him. Because Garrett Wilson got a little space, even though, they lost. Brees Hall definitely got some space, even though they
He
lost.
was. Oh,
Yeah.
I told you to go get Brees a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, if at all possible. The problem was you might have been half a game too late.
One game too late, yeah.
That one's easy. I don't think we have any major injuries between those two teams. Patriots, you're only really playing Ramondre if you have to, and Hunter Henry probably. Hunter Henry's been
Even
getting
the Hunter Henry feels bad. I had to pick him up this week, obviously, and it worked out.
he
but
gets a
there
decent
are
amount of
lots of weeks
targets,
that-
but
yeah,
Play Henry.
Ravens at Browns. I mean, we're all taking the Ravens. The Browns look horrific. I don't know if you guys heard during the broadcast, but they did say they told DTR that on Friday that if they were to bench Watson, that he was the guy that's going. So that was the plan. That wasn't like a
yeah. It wasn't like a last minute
shock and
pivot.
awe thing, which is odd because Jameis Winston definitely looked better.
Yeah, like I said, my theory on this is they traded away Amari Cooper after having a horrible start. I just think this is a team that they are
$150
throwing in the towel.
million guaranteed over the next 2 years to Deshaun Watson. Doesn't have to set foot on the field.
They did, well, not that it matters. They did restructure again after this now newest allegation came out against him that if it were to come true,
Sure.
basically all of the guarantee money's gone.
I'm just
But
saying, assuming that doesn't come true, we're just talking football terms, he could stay hurt for the next 2 years. He's getting $150 million. If you're a Browns fan, I'm sorry for a lot of reasons, but that's terrible.
yeah, this is very similar in my mind to the Russell Wilson deal. Very like unproven for the money that was given, and not that they were bad at the time, but just was significantly more than what people thought they were going to get. And then there really wasn't a lot of like backup to show that they were worth it.
You talking about his Denver deal?
Yeah, Russ's Denver deal was crazy, and then Deshaun's deal with
At least
the
Russ
Browns,
had won a
obviously.
Super Bowl before his Denver deal.
sure. Yeah,
Deshaun
But I
hadn't
think-
played
I
in
think-
3 years or whatever.
the only thing Deshaun had, I think, did he ever win MVP?
He might have been.
No.
No, he
Uh,
was a front runner.
yeah, I
He
was just
lost to
saying
Rodgers.
yeah.
Okay. I just couldn't remember. I know he had a couple good seasons in Houston, and to that point, obviously those couple good seasons in Houston were him and DeAndre Hopkins. So like, there's a reason he was paid. I mean, I get that
Yeah,
he was a freak talent, but to that point,
it's crazy.
yeah, wild.
Um,
Nick Chubb's back. Play Nick Chubb.
yeah.
He's just gonna get better.
Zay Flowers got hurt in the game tonight, so we'll keep an eye on the injury there. I don't know if he came back in or not, but
If he's hurt, if he misses time, this doesn't change my mind on like playing any receiver for
yeah,
Baltimore.
don't.
If anything, this just heightens my ability to want to play Mark Andrews or frankly Justice Hill. Like that's it.
I agree. I concur. I tried the Isaiah Likely move a couple of times. I got burnt every time I tried it, so that one's up to you. Who are they playing? The Browns. I mean, Chubb. That's a
Playing Joku.
Njoku,
Saying
but he
Joku.
got
Yeah,
banged up in the Bengals game, didn't
dude, listen. If they play Jameis, okay. If there's any report, go out and get Jerry Judy because
he? He targeted
Hey,
him what
buddy,
4
let's-
times in a row.
Cool it, man. You're
oh
taking
sorry
my stuff.
sorry I'm just four. Great minds think alike.
Chill out.
We're
This is
moving
my-
on.
Okay, wait.
segment.
In all seriousness, DTR plays. Do you play Jerry Judy?
No.
Well, I mean, if you have to, yes. But
What's the
hopefully no.
what's the line? What's the line?
If you have bye weeks,
Lad
injuries-
McConkey.
No,
No.
McConkey.
You're playing McConkey over.
LaBonky.
No, that's Sam Laporta.
No, that's. Oh wait, is it? Yeah, that might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
The line. Alec Pierce. That's the.
That was
he might
very
miss.
easy.
Huh?
What about Darnell Mooney?
Oh, I'm
Darnell
I'm
Mooney.
playing Darnell Mooney.
He's kind of been balling.
That's whatever. You're playing him at a flex if you're desperate.
Yeah.
There's not really a great line. On to
What's-
the Eagles and Bengals.
Yeah.
I hope we're all taking the Bengals.
Hold
I'm
on.
taking the Bengals
I'm-
in a field goal.
I'm reaching into my mind's eye, my mind's socket here.
Chris is a hater. He's taking the Eagles.
Let me tell you. I'm going to be at this game. And I have a very good win-loss record in attendance. Especially later in the year. Much like Joe Burrow, I heat up as the season goes on.
Obviously, I want the Bengals to win. That's not a secret. I just think what the Eagles have on offense is the arch nemesis to how horrible our defense has been. I understand that the last couple weeks have been better, but they have been horrendous offenses. And I just don't see a world where Cam Taylor-Britt, who's been getting torched, can guard A.J. Brown. I don't see a world where Dax Hill
He's dead.
or DJ Turner.
Dax Hill's
Ki-
broken for the year.
I don't
But
think that DJ Turner can
Mike
guard.
if we play the nickel, Mike Hilton is still playing very well.
Sure. But to that point, I just don't see a world where we guard A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Saquon Barkley and then not prevent Jalen Hurts from running.
I don't
There's just-
either, but I see a world where we win 38-35. I don't see a world where we stop Saquon from rushing over 100 yards.
Who did you pick?
I'm picking
Johnny?
Cincinnati.
Let's go. Suck it, Chris. You're a hater.
Sorry. I want the Bengals to win. That's not a secret. Obviously, I love the Bengals, but
I don't think
don't
there's
think it
any.
happened.
I don't think there's any injuries.
no.
There.
You're playing everybody. How do you feel about Zach Moss now? Are we just out?
I think he's a flex,
Yeah.
a fringe flex,
No.
a
bench.
fringe flex.
No.
He's getting like 3 or 4 targets, and he's still getting like,
way better options.
well, sure, but if there's a bye week,
There may even be on a bye week though available players on the waiver, just for like a 1 week pickup.
oh, what did he get this last week?
Who would you rather play after this couple weeks now? Devin Singletary or Zach Moss?
Singletary.
Because there's a good. You think Tyrone Tracy? I mean, Dayball came out and said that he's going to get playing time. So, are we just? I'm going to assume, just for the sake of this argument, 50-50 timeshare between Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary. So, you'd still have Singletary in that scenario?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would too.
Zach Moss his rushing line was atrocious. 6 carries for 7 yards, 3 receptions for 33. I mean, you're just hoping they throw him in there for receptions at that point.
Problem is he hasn't looked bad.
Well, yeah.
Chase Brown's just been electric.
Yeah,
when he gets the ball.
they're not giving him enough carries now because he fumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with Chase Brown's production. We're going to Colts at Texans. I think the Texans win this game. Anthony Richardson is
I
a
don't think this was
disease.
close.
Dude, Lamar has 4 touchdowns in the third quarter right now.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's MVP. I don't know how he's not. Yeah, I know the outcome of this game. This is all Houston. To your point, Anthony Richardson looks horrible. So
So bad.
Yep.
this is a perfect example of like they have no other choice. They've been backed into a corner because they drafted him so high. It's year 2. And it's not like you're the Panthers where you got to watch Bryce Young play a full season and be horrible, and you're going to get the first pick again. Like, they're okay-ish.
Yep.
But you haven't seen anything, so you have to keep playing him. But, like, we all know the answer. He's not good. So,
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's not good. As long as Anthony Richardson's playing, I'm staying away from their wide receivers.
Yep.
And I think you
Michael
pretty much.
Pittman had an okay-ish week this week.
I think
but
you
it was
pretty
still,
much only play Jonathan Taylor, and he's still freaking dealing with a sprained ankle. He should play this week.
He should be back this week.
Yeah, but
He should be back.
it's been
This
brutal.
is like week 3. Week 3 is normally the number for ankle sprains. So
Moving on to Titans at Lions. I mean, yeah,
I filled it in already.
yeah, we're all taking the Lions. I mean,
Yeah.
the Titans started Mason Rudolph. If you're starting Mason Rudolph, you're confused.
I mean, can't be any worse than Banana Man. Will Levis.
Oh,
He eats bananas and he eats the peels.
that's disgusting.
That is not what I thought you were talking about.
Again, as we've said every week since we've had this podcast, Tony Pollard is the only Titan you can play.
Yep.
If I'm DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley, I am demanding a trade. Like,
Yep.
I don't set foot on the field until, you got to get out of there. That's a crapshoot. You're just wasting. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is old, so
At this point, unfortunately, I think he's dug his grave.
It's
one of the classic like Julio Jones scenarios where you go somewhere and then you spend too long and your career just kind
it's
of gets
over.
faded
But
away.
Calvin Ridley may be able to salvage a couple years if he leaves now. But that's horrible. But the Lions, just send them all.
Play everybody.
Every single person you have, play them.
Just know that Jared Goff will either give you
45.
400 yards and 3 touchdowns, or he will give you 10 points because David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs do all the work.
Yep.
Plain
And I'm
simple.
willing to risk that, so it's okay.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Falcons at Bucks. I mean, goodness gracious, Kirk Cousins couldn't be more inconsistent this season. It's so frustrating. I'm never playing him at quarterback ever again. I'm making the elimination moves. I'm removing him from all my quarterback positions.
Yeah. I don't really blame you.
He's gonna.
I'm taking the Bucks because Baker Mayfield to the moon.
Yeah, he's been great.
I'm taking.
Dude,
I'm taking the Falcons.
I'm taking the Falcons. Yeah, I think I'm taking
I think the
Falcons,
Bucks are going to choke this one again. I don't know why, but I'm taking the Falcons.
Well, obviously you have Mike Evans with a hamstring injury, and that's a big part of the
And
offense.
the hamstring is nagging. I don't think that one's going away anytime soon. T. Higgins been
No.
dealing with a hamstring injury for freaking 3 years.
Yeah, one of those things that obviously he clearly had it last week and then battled through it, kept playing, convinced coaches to let him play this week, and then you see him early in the game go down with an injury, grabbing at the hamstring, and then he gets ruled out. So I'd be surprised if he plays, to be honest.
Just keep an eye on that. I don't really know if him not playing changes any of the other people you're playing.
Yeah, you're definitely playing Chris Godwin right now. I keep saying it. K. Dotton's a decent option at tight end. He's just getting targets. And then at this point, flip a coin between Rashad White and Bucky Irving.
Sean Tucker.
As you say, I'm starting Bucky over freaking Rashad White at this point.
Bucky Barnes.
I picked up. What's his name? You just said it. I picked him up.
Sean Tucker.
Yeah, we were the only two that put in a waiver claim for him in Dynasty, but I got him. Eat it, Nick. Moving on to the 405 slot, we got Saints, Chargers, Saints. I mean, did either one of you watch that game Sunday?
You're taking the Saints over the Chargers?
No. I'm saying, did either one of you watch the game?
Oh,
No,
It was
I think so.
that was the
I
morning
think I
game.
did.
no. Saints played in the
That was
afternoon.
the Jags Patriots.
You're right. Was it the Thursday game?
Spencer Rattler,
Nope.
that's their quarterback.
Yes.
He looks atrocious. I mean, so bad. Alvin Kamara looked like he was about
Here
to
it goes.
off
Here it goes.
himself.
To be fair.
That's the
There's
first
your
one of
first
the podcast.
Yeah, to be fair.
Confetti.
He is playing with like second and third string linemen. Not a single one of those guys is a starter.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill is out. Chris Olave is out. Rashid Shaheed is now out for the year.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not saying he's good, but there are like 9 asterisks by he's not good
Poor
because there's a lot of other reasons.
Alvin Kamara. He looked like death.
Well, when you play a defense, normally you have about 8 guys stack the box, and then you have guys play coverage on the outside with the wide receivers, and it looks like they are stacking about 15 guys just waiting for Alvin Kamara to touch the ball.
Also,
in the box.
every ball that he got was a hospital ball because he was waiting. He had his back turned to the defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Poor
pretty
guy.
sure we're all taking the Chargers, right?
Yeah, there's no way.
Okay. I don't know of any injuries there. Do we have any?
None worth mentioning. I mean, they're
None.
not. Justin Herbert's playing. J.K. Dobbins is it on the Chargers side, basically.
How has Dobbins been doing? I've not been keeping up with him. Is he keeping?
He had a hot
He's been
start to the
decent.
year, but he's
Not-
been okay. He's getting a
hasn't been
bunch of
good.
work, but he hasn't really done much with it. So
I mean, it's
playable,
it's
though.
7-6 right now in third. Chargers. Chris, on a scale of 1 to 10, how mad will you be if you don't get 5 points
between 3 players,
between 3
yeah, very.
players?
What's making me really mad is that the Bucks can't freaking just get in field goal range.
No. All right, for those of you following along at home, I am currently beating Chris 115.6 to 110.16. He's got Kyler Murray, Marv, and McLaughlin playing. He just needs 5 points to win, but I mean,
Yep.
they're putting up a stinker right now. 99% sure, actually 92% sure, according to ESPN Fantasy Football, that he's going to win. But oh boy, if he loses this one,
You may not see me next week.
yeah, may walk into traffic, folks.
Ardell Jones. Sorry.
Oh
Oh, wait,
no,
Dwayne Haskins. That's what it
yeah,
was.
wrong
Right.
Ohio State quarterback. Rest in peace.
My bad.
Bills at Seahawks.
Easy. I'm taking the Bills. Clear cut. Josh Allen's back. Amari Cooper's all he needed.
Okay, DK Metcalf is hurt. What is the status of his injury?
Basically, grade 1 sprain is what they're saying.
In what?
They're calling it
In an ankle?
knee. So to that
MTL
point,
sprain.
yeah, they're calling it week to week. Good luck what that means. Yeah, I don't know if that means he's gonna play. This is one of those weird, like when they say week to week things, they could practice in full tomorrow, and they could be out for. This is happening if guys go on IR. So like, good luck.
Giving him Seahawks. Give him to me. Give him to me. Bad.
No, there's no way. If DK Metcalf played, maybe, but
Goes
I'm
Chris
gonna go
Glazer
Bills.
again.
I'm gonna go Bills.
I'm calling Kenneth Walker 2 TDs, 130 yards, and Tyler Lockett's going to get on the board with the touchdown. It's going to be a shootout.
Well, Tyler Lockett's also kind of hurt, banged up.
Yeah, it's all right. He'll be
He's
fine.
questionable. So if those guys are out, you're definitely playing JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Consolidation of targets. He's already been getting a good amount. So if DK Metcalf's out or if Tyler Lockett's out, even just one of them, I think you play him.
Yep. I mean, Kenneth Walker did carry an injury designation into this week, but I think he was just sick. So he should be fine. He ended up playing. I had all my running backs carrying a designation into the game this week. It was brutal. I took a chance and just hoped I played the right ones. I did, but I'm still going to lose, so it is what it is. I think that covers all the injuries. Amari Cooper, first week on the Bills, I was a little worried. Slow start. And then he
shout out to Keon Coleman
for showing him the route.
Yeah.
I mean,
what a great teammate.
Thank
and
you.
Then when he was asked about it, he was just like, he knew. What a guy.
Yeah.
I know, dude.
Amari Cooper with Josh Allen should be a better version of Amari Cooper with Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Because I think you've just got a younger, more mobile version of Dak Prescott.
Yeah. The only hard part is Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have been known to be willing to throw, and over the last, really up to this point, full year's worth of games, basically like the second half of last season up till now, the Bills are just adamant that they're going to run the ball like 40 times a game.
Yeah, that does get frustrating, I guess, but it's working out for them. Did anybody else forget that Amari Cooper played for the Raiders?
No, I remember. That was Derek Carr days.
Yeah, my brain, he originated on the Cowboys, and then I was like, oh no, he definitely was on the Raiders. That was just a long time ago. All right, we're moving on to the 425 slot. Bears at Commanders. Daniels is hurt, but okay. All right, I have beef. This might have won me the game against you, Chris. Commanders are smacking the ever-loving poop out of, I forget who they were playing, the Panthers?
Panthers.
Just beating them to death. Bring in Marcus Mariota, and they just let this man throw for like 3 more touchdowns. Why are they not handing it off to the running backs? Brian Robinson Jr. could have had so many points. And no, Marcus Mariota comes in and just starts slanging that thing. And like, good for him, I guess. But it's like, man, I was like, oh, okay, Daniels is out. He's going to eat now. Like, I'm going to get some points. Nope. Literally went up like 2 points.
See what you got.
Ridiculous.
Let him cook.
Yeah, I got screwed losing Daniels in several leagues. It killed me. But happens is what it is. He is week to week, so just be mindful. It's basically a pain tolerance. All the scans came back good. Nothing wrong. It's just going to be a matter of, is he willing to take another shot to the ribs?
I think the Commanders win.
I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah, I took the Bears.
Oh, here comes Chris Glazen.
I think the Bears' defense is
What are
very
you talking
good.
about, bro?
I think the Bears' defense is good. I think Caleb Williams has shown some improvement. But if Daniels doesn't play, it's obviously going to be the Bears. If Daniels plays, I think their offense will be better than the Bears. Injuries, obviously, we already talked about Daniels there, so we're pretty good. Chiefs at Raiders. I would like to take a moment for another one of my favorite segments of Patrick Mahomes sucks big booty. He has more interceptions than touchdowns at this moment.
Yeah.
He's tied for most in the league.
Yeah. Also, I have issue with him running to the sideline and then fake going out of bounds and then sprinting up for another 25 yards. Do either of you have a problem with that? Did you see that?
I don't think it's his fault necessarily. I hate that this league has turned into this, like,
Sure.
I can't hit anybody.
Sure. But he knows that. And he definitely pulled up. And if you watch the replay, you got 3 defenders that all pulled up because they know if I blast him into tomorrow, even if he has 1 foot on the green, I'm getting flagged. So it's like, it's the same thing as a fake slide to me. Like, if he's going to pull up the fake slide and then keeps running, like, what are they supposed to do? Like, I'm at the point for these defenders is like the whole passer or the roughing the passer where you fall on the quarterback, if your weight falls on them, it's like,
Yeah.
this
Ridiculous.
This is getting out of hand. Like, I'm about to bring Vontaze Burfict out of retirement to just level him one time So he stops this crap. And hopefully then he would change his mind. But he's not playing well.
No.
He had some fancy shovel passes.
It's a lot of defense. Their defense is good.
Spagnola is bailing out the Chiefs at this point. Travis Kelce still does not look good. Xavier Worthy, you think his targets would skyrocket with Rashee Rice out. Nope. Kareem Hunt has wound back the clock 5 years. Go pick him up and play him in a flex because Patrick Mahomes loves Kareem Hunt right now. He's throwing it to him. He's handing off to him. He's doing drop passes to him. Just go get Kareem Hunt. That's his favorite target. Freaking dump off merchant.
Yeah. This is an easy one. We're all taking the Chiefs, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Although
On the flip side,
Aiden O'Connell's hurt and he's going on the IR. Gardner Minshew's coming in. So Brock Bowers' stock probably skyrockets.
They went out inside UC boy Desmond Ridder from the practice squad of Arizona this week.
He might start over Gardner Minshew. If Gardner Minshew was bad enough to get sat for Aiden O'Connell at some point, Desmond Ridder's getting a shot.
We'll see.
They
On
got none to
that side of
lose.
the ball,
Yeah,
basically, you're
I'm
playing
now.
Brock Bowers and you're playing Alexander Madison. That's it.
Right, I gotta say it. I can feel like this will be the upset of the week. Like if there's gonna be an upset, I think it's gonna be the Raiders.
They lost to him
Chiefs.
on Christmas last year, didn't they?
I don't remember.
I think they did. It was a big all stank.
Yeah, because that was the Max Crosby, Patrick Mahomes, like, beef or whatever.
I would love it.
Dude, breaking news. Bump, 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 bump. Jamison Williams is facing a 2-game suspension for violating NFL's performance-enhancing substance.
That makes sense.
Because he's not even that good.
He's real fast. He's been juicing the legs.
Can't catch a break with that guy, dude.
So don't play him for the next 2 weeks. We're moving on to Panthers at Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos. Bo Nix
Taking
is
the Broncos.
serviceable. Cortland Sutton. My man didn't get a target this week. I put him in my lineup. He didn't get a target.
They look like they are transitioning, like out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
They are playing Troy Franklin. They are playing Marvin Mims. They are playing Vele or whatever that guy's name is.
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I wouldn't be surprised to see Cortland Sutton moved before the trade deadline.
Neither
for
would I.
something, because they don't need him, and he's been getting 1 million targets except for this week, but it's just not translated to
Panthers,
anything, so.
you're playing the same old. Deontay Johnson, Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Yep.
That's about it.
Jonathan Brooks' practice window has been opened. It been opened last week. So again, he's kind of on that could come back any minute. He got a full week of practice. Or maybe not a full week, but I know he practiced in full at least a couple of days, so probably not playing this week, I'd imagine. But the following is that timeline of you let it fly. So
They're a mess. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys at 49ers. I mean, Cowboys don't know what they're doing. 49ers are injury destroyed right now. They said today that Christian McCaffrey's probably not coming back until week 11.
so back and forth.
Week 11?
He's a week away.
Remember,
He's done for the year.
remember when they said he was playing week 1? They should be sued. And I'm not joking. That's what we like to call misleading the shareholders.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I don't know what happened with that, but
I
keep playing.
Yeah, Nick's right. And I have been on Nick's train since the beginning of the season. Ever since the week 1 issue, he's not playing this year. They screwed a bunch of people. And from the sound of it, they kind of screwed people this week with Debo. They told everybody that Debo was fine. First half of the game. Yeah.
He's in the hospital right now.
I know.
He has fluid in his lungs.
I know, but for the first half of the game, he's on the sideline getting an IV. Why are you not carrying? Why are you not taking better precautions or better informing people about the situation? Like, outside of just fantasy football, like, something with their organization is not functioning properly. Like, first of all, it's not legal within the NFL to do what they're doing. Several teams have gotten in trouble for what they're doing, not properly reporting an injury. Do you remember all the stink that the Bengals got in about not properly reporting Joe Burrow's injury? It's like,
Yep.
how are they getting away with this? I don't know, but
I'm taking the Niners.
I'm taking the Cowboys. I don't think the Niners can overcome the injuries they have right now. I think the Cowboys had a week off, and CeeDee Lamb and Dak got to get something going, and their season is in the dumps.
I'm taking the Niners.
Would you like to do the honors in saying it, Chris?
Nope.
It's okay. I always answer before you, so you can't really help it. Monday night, Giants Steelers. Stinker of a game.
I'm taking
I'm taking the Steelers.
I'm taking the Steelers.
Chris?
Giants. Upset Central.
I'm taking the Steelers, and it's going to be a blowout.
No.
And my man Russell Wilson, who balled, is going
He
to
did not ball. He went 16 for 29.
2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 rushing touchdown, most points they've put up on the
That's
season.
Justin Fields' line.
1
That's all
game.
I'm saying. No, I don't disagree. I'm just saying that's the same stat line you said was bad. But now it's Russell Wilson, and it's good. Like, it's the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying I guarantee in 6 games he'll have more than 10 touchdowns. Promise.
We'll see.
And that screenshot I had with all his rankings, he'll be better than that.
What was this? I don't remember this screenshot.
I'll read. I'll regardless of Russell Wilson's performance. I was talking to Chris about this Sunday. Justin Fields through 6 games, 23rd in passing yards, 25th in touchdowns, 28th in interceptions. That's great. Low pick rate. And 20th in quarterback rating. All right. So, by no stretch of the imagination is he the worst quarterback in the NFL. I'm not making that argument. I'm just saying that by no stretch of the imagination is this a good quarterback in the NFL.
Okay. You also didn't read any of his rushing stats. It's always like when people compare Lamar to somebody and then they leave out his rushing stats, which is an unfair.
He had 5 rushing
unfair to
touchdowns.
do. Okay, that's who? Justin Fields?
Justin Fields.
That should significantly help his numbers then.
Yeah, if you're 25th on touchdowns, that's probably passing because it only said he had 5.
Yeah.
Cherry picking. I don't appreciate it.
I'm just saying Russell Wilson's already got a rushing touchdown. And I was told he couldn't run. Granted, it was like a 3-yard rushing touchdown. I think it was like a tush push, but it is what it is. I still stand by. I think he's going to be a better solution. Mike Tomlin clearly thought he was going to be a better solution. I think they're going to trade Justin Fields. I don't think he's going to make it the rest of the season on their team.
Fields is the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. I hate that he doesn't get a shot.
What sucks is if you're Pittsburgh,
I'm trying to think if I disagree. If there's anybody I think is more underrated.
I think the problem is that like they were 4-2 before the week. I think that they have to play Russell to see if it helps you or hurts you. And I think you'd rather find that out. Like the way that their schedule's set up, they have the last, 8 games of their season is Ravens, Browns, Bengals, 3 in a row of division games. You have the Eagles and then like the Cowboys. And then they finish it out with like Ravens, Browns, Bengals again. So their back half of the season for the Pittsburgh is horrendous on their schedule. So to that point, if you have to find out if Fields is the guy or if Russell's the guy, which means you have to play the both, see which one's better. and I get you have to do that now, but I think personally Fields is better.
I agree.
But we'll see. It's one of those. He played good this week. The Jets.
That's another thing. They're the number 3 passing defense. And they're not
Well,
no joke on
but again,
defense.
Also, George Pickens had to make 2 catches that were like the most bailout horrible pass that like he juggled to catch, and then freaking Pat Fryermuth had some one hand over the shoulder catch.
All right, but
incredible.
you guys didn't watch any of the Steelers games. We don't know what they were doing to bail out Justin Fields. So that's not really a fair analysis.
Well, but to that point, if they were doing that before, it would be on my social media like it is now. That's all I'm saying. If they were doing it with Fields, they would be posting, and I'd see it scrolling through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is. I see. That's
I think it was
half my timeline right now.
I think it's probably on your timeline because they're finally getting big plays in Pittsburgh that they never got.
And maybe, yeah. I don't disagree that I think Wilson is better for the receivers, but
Lamar Jackson has 5 touchdowns right now.
Dude,
they're all throwing.
I would agree that he's probably the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. If it's not him, I'm looking at
Samuel Darnold.
Well, it's hard to go with Sam Darnold because he's not really had a good chance or year besides this year, you know. So he's got a small sample size, you know. I would probably go with Geno Smith if I wasn't going to pick Justin Fields. But
I think he's more fairly rated now than because he's had a couple years.
He's got a couple years to actually start. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. Before Baker Mayfield got a starting job at Tampa, he was in Justin Fields' situation. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Justin Fields is just in the early stage of Baker Mayfield's career, where it's like maybe he lands somewhere and then he finally is in a system where they know how to use him. I just don't think.
Well, I mean, perfect example. Look at Cliff Kingsbury with Marcus Mariota last week. Marcus Mariota hadn't been good his entire career.
No.
Yet that dude looked incredible last week. So
could be one game though.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's also the Panthers.
Cliff Kingsbury has been known to run basically a college offense. Makes it very easy. He's a very get the ball out quick. You have one read. It's a lot of like he did it with Kyler. It's a very like athletic, quick quarterback. So
which makes it interesting is why he lost his job. You'd think that would go hand in hand with the Arizona offense.
Yeah, didn't translate. I don't know.
Chris, your points haven't changed.
I haven't gotten one more point.
It's almost the end of the third quarter. Okay, we're officially on point watch for Chris here. This is getting concerning for him. Where are we at on the docket here?
I think that was it for the games.
My turn.
Oh yeah, okay. We're finished with the matchups and injuries. We're going on to Nick's picks, where he lets you know sneaky ads to pick up from the waivers. Take it over, Nick.
First of all, I would just like to say I said Rashad Bateman, and he has like 20 points right now. Last week, I said Tyler Goodson was better than Trey Sermon. He didn't do great, but he had like, 12, 13, something like that. So I know ball. First up, 2 quarterbacks. I hate to say it. Number 1 is Russell Wilson.
This guy.
27 points back in his first game against the Jets. I mean, fantasy-wise, the numbers don't lie.
Wait till he plays the Bengals. Play him then. He'll get 50.
He had a good game against the Jets, and the Jets do have a decent defense. But you never know. There's one game. Other guy, Bo Nix, he's been actually playing pretty good. His last 3 games, he had 24 points, 22 points, and he had 14 last week, but he plays Carolina, who...
And he rushes.
Yeah, I could play for Carolina.
He's pretty fly for a white guy.
Yeah. So Bo Nix, Russell Wilson, they're stream options if you need them. Obviously, they're probably not going to be starters in your lineup, but if you need them, if you have a bye week or something, you could play them. On to running backs, Alexander Madison. I was kind of hating on him last week, but he showed up.
Was.
He's had 8 targets in the last 2 games, and now that
Made me a madman.
O'Connell's out, you're hoping that the new QB, whoever it is, if it's Desmond Ritter or Gardner Minshew, they'll just dump off to him. Jalen Warren is a good pickup, in my opinion. I think hopefully, if Russell Wilson can stay good, Jalen Warren is getting more of the receiving work, and he looks like he's like back to splitting with Najee. And before, Jalen looked like the better running back when they were splitting time. But he's a good stash if you need one. And then Tyler Goodson, again, if Jonathan Taylor's out, he's a good pickup. He's way more efficient than Sermon. He's just a better player. But he's probably only going to be good if Jonathan Taylor's out.
Yeah.
On to the wide receivers. This is a no-brainer. Jawan Jennings, if he's still available, he is available in 50% of leagues. Ayuk just went out for the season. Debo, we don't know the status of him, but he's in the hospital right now, so hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he comes back.
He has pneumonia, so I don't know how quickly that
So
passes.
Jawan Jennings should be number 1. Number 2, Jerry Jeudy. Now that Amari Cooper's gone, we were hoping that he would be the guy, and then Deshaun didn't want to look at him all game until Deshaun went down. Then Jerry Jeudy ended. He only got 1 catch, but he had 5 targets in like the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
So
it was the David Njoku show basically that
Yeah.
week.
You're hoping if it's Jameis or if it's whoever that other guy is,
DTR.
Jerry Jeudy's probably most likely going to be the wide receiver 1. He probably is the second option, I'd say, behind Njoku, just because they seem to like to run him more. But Jerry Jeudy could be a sneaky ad. And then last wide receiver, he's been on the list for like 4 weeks in a row. Trey Tucker, he had 8 targets last game. Now that Devontae Adams isn't there anymore, he's definitely the second option in that offense, probably. And he's running good routes. If you watch, he's actually getting open. I think he's just has stinky QB play. But he finds the end zone. You're gonna get a nice 15-point game. Onto the tight ends, no brainer. Hunter Henry, Drake May loves him. They've got Cupid has hit them with his arrows because they are in love. 14 targets in the last 2 games, and the tight end position right now is awful to play. So if Hunter Henry is somehow still out there, or you can trade for him, get Hunter Henry because there's a good chance he finishes as a top 5 tight end. Noah Fant is the other tight end. If DK doesn't play, they're a pass heavy offense. I know they have Kenneth Walker, but Gino likes to sling it. So if DK's out, Noah Fant might be a pretty good option. He's had a decent target share over the last couple of weeks. It's not great, but the tight end position is not good either. I think he's had 6 or 7 targets over the last 2 weeks, which again doesn't sound like anything crazy, but if he reaches the end zone, if DK's out, there's a lot of variables that he could be a streaming option for you, but the tight end position is just so hard to account for. So that's all I have.
Beautiful. Yeah, tight end, you basically got Kittle, Kraft, Ingram,
Bowers.
Andrews is throwing his name in there. And then the rest is Dookie.
Yeah, a lot of them wasn't big letdowns.
Alrighty, everybody. That wraps it up for our show this week. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment. Remember, keep an eye out for us on Twitter. Oh, it's X now. Sorry, Elon. On X, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and YouTube Shorts. There was an error uploading last week's episode to Spotify, so there will be 2 episodes uploaded
Bingo.
tomorrow.
Lucky
So
to you,
double
more
feature.
followers
Yep.
or whatever.
Keep an eye out for it. Thank you for listening along, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.